and the topic for today is mystery behind the Titan. And we have two special guests with us. We have Amy and we have Anne Rachel. A quick sound off, like if you can hear the audio as well. Anne, is the audio
Can you
fine?
see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Barely. We can see you, but barely we can
Hello,
hear you.
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you
Okay,
also.
a little bit better. Little bit better. Okay, these are the two special guests for the show. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Now, before we start into this entire discussion about Titan, I'm going to just give you a brief introduction to OceanGate. So, OceanGate Incorporated is an American privately owned company based in Everett, Washington, that provides cruised submersibles for tourism, industry, research, and exploration. The company was founded in 2009 by Stockton Rush and Guillermo Solin. In 2021, OceanGate began taking paid tourists to the Titan to visit the wreck of the Titanic. And as of 2022, the price of a passenger on OceanGate on this certain submarine was estimated to be around 250,000 US dollars per person. And unfortunately, on the 18th of June 2023, the Titan imploded during a voyage to the Titanic wreck site, killing all five occupants on board, including the CEO and co-founder himself, Stockton Rush. And an international search and rescue operation was launched on June 22nd, 2023, and the wreckage was found on the seabed about 500 meters or roughly 1,600 feet away from the bow of the Titanic. Now let's jump right into today's discussion. So I'll start us off with a question. So the implosion occurred around 370 nautical miles, which is about 690 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. So now, any theories as to how or why the implosion took place?
I heard so many, Yohann. I've heard so many. I think my
Okay, give me a
favorite.
top three. Give me a top three.
Okay, so there's one. I don't remember the name of all the politicians, but this woman had like this long list of theories. The story was the original Titanic. There was apparently some really important politician that was blocking some bill, and the person who was like opposing this, their ancestor
Mm-hmm.
was in charge of something to do with Ocean Gate, and the ancestor of the person who was blocking the bill was on the Titanic. I mean, on the submarine that imploded. So she was like making these crazy connections, like it's all connected. And another one is apparently there before the implosion took place, there was some knocking noise. I think you would have heard about this one. This was like the most popular one. There was some knocking noise on the
Yeah.
submarine, and they think some like deep sea creature like bit them or something. Then of course the obvious
Yeah,
one.
and I
It
heard
was
some people said like the megalodon came and ate them.
yeah. People are not treating this with any sort of sacredness.
Yeah,
uh,
they're just like throwing theories out there, but really those were quite interesting theories.
um,
And do you have any
Not
thoughts on that?
really, but like, why do people want the megalodon to be real so badly? Like, there's a reason why it's extinct. Let it stay extinct. Like the whole theories about the megalodon still being somewhere under the ocean is crazy. Like, just let it be dead. Don't bring it back up. But no, whatever Amy said was
I
just
mean,
completely
scientists
hallucination.
are trying to resurrect the
There are much
megalodon.
scarier things down there. The megalodon is not the scariest thing.
So, according to the United States Navy, so the sonar actually detected the implosion, and they say that the cause of the submarine being imploded was due to, the pressure hull having a failure or something like that. And okay, so a pressure hull is obviously the thing that is inside the submarine, prevents, uh, which keeps the pressure on and doesn't allow the submarine to implode, and it allows the submarine to withstand high pressures whenever deep sea diving is taking place, like when the submarine submerges into deep waters. So I mean, speaking about this deep water thing, so I have gone diving like a few months ago, and you have this whole diving suit. So when they take you about like around 50 to 100 meters down, like you feel your head like it starts to vibrate. You feel like it's gonna burst out from within. So I mean, I can only imagine like this submarine is going about some 12,000 feet down, around that estimation, and you have these people sitting there. They're not wearing anything, like they're not even wearing a safety jacket or anything, and it just implodes. So the amount of pressure that is going to
A
be
safety jacket isn't gonna help.
is
A life jacket,
it's going to be
12,000
pretty
feet.
high. It's going to Okay, a life jacket won't actually prevent anything, but still, I mean, safety.
Have you guys seen this
So there's
one?
also this.
Sorry, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Continue.
Okay,
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. So have you guys seen this one experiment back in 2017? So there were these bunch of, like a group of students that just they sent this human, like, puppet mannequin kind of thing down 300 feet below, and they depressurized the suit on purpose to see how it would impact the people, like impact the suit, and it was horrifying. It's just like all your insides just goes.
Yeah, it just rips
So
apart,
you
and the
can
mannequin is
imagine,
plastic. It's not.
huh?
Yeah, the mannequin was plastic, or was it made of?
Plastic, and they added some animal insides to make it
Why? Why?
human mannequin and like
I mean,
animal insides
the
to make it.
plastic would have been more than enough.
Yeah, it's been all over the place. But yeah.
Like I mean, even there's a science experiment. Like there's a guy who takes a watermelon who wraps it around a lot of rubber bands to show like what actually implosion is, and the watermelon just bursts from the inside, and it's a very high pressure thing that actually takes place. So you can only imagine like water, which is not to say anything bad about it, but it is a very strong force. So you can imagine the amount of depth, and when the implosion takes place, you can imagine. And even there are some theories going around like, if a submarine which is made out of titanium and mostly carbon fiber, like how can there be any remains, under the ocean, especially after the implosion? And I'm judging like if it can only carry about 5 people, I mean it should not be that big, right? Like not the size of a navy submarine or
Do
something.
we know
So
how big it
people
was?
arguing how can they?
Was it
I'm
20
not
feet?
sure about how big
20
it was.
feet? Hmm.
20
That's
feet.
not that big.
20 feet in length.
Yeah, 20 feet is not
Like
that big.
9 feet in height, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's not that big. It's a tin can, soda can sent down to the ocean. Like people try
Yeah,
to move
especially when
around.
it's made out of carbon fiber.
Okay.
I
Carbon
heard
fiber is
from
like what you get in most cars.
I heard from a guy that James Cameron, the director of the Titanic. So I heard that he was like extremely against this because this new material. I don't really know much about it, but apparently all of the other times that they did this, they were using steel, so or some alloy of that. So that no one has ever tried like this titanium carbon fiber nonsense before. And all of the experts were saying, don't do this. It's not safe. It's not been tested. Don't do it. And even James Cameron, like he's a movie director. What does he know about it? But he was like on site for the direction of the Titanic. And he also said, no, don't do this. He was also very much against. So wealthy, they could do so much to protect themselves. They like didn't listen to any of the warnings.
Yeah, I mean like taking $250,000 from people just to allow them to go on the submarine. I mean, Ocean Gate would have been pretty wealthy and well off to at least reinforce things, at least do some few tests, or make the pressure a more durable one. Actually, it was said to be durable around 12,000 feet, but I don't know. They say there was a flaw in the pressure hull which caused it to lose strength and cause the implosion. And let's
A
move on
lot of
actually.
people are
So,
coming
what are your
forward.
thoughts about? Uh, Continue.
And you were saying something?
No,
Yeah.
when you were still talking about the carbon fiber thing and like how, the testing. Like a lot of people are coming forward and saying how the CEO didn't really listen to any of these warnings. So it was kind of similar to what the captain of the
Yeah.
Titanic also did in its final moments before it hit the iceberg. So it's very parallel. It's terrifying. Yes, go on.
I mean, especially the CEO who should, I mean, he's in charge of the company. Obviously, he's a co-founder.
And can you hear Yohann?
Nope.
Wait, am I
You're
audible again?
lying. I don't think it was.
Like, am I audible?
You said the Titanic wasn't just full of rich people.
Floating around. Okay, there's also a theory floating around, like where all these people were placed on the Titanic for a hit case or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. The internet is over for. But anyway, all of this aside, so what are your thoughts about Ocean Gate still advertising? When their submarine was lost,
They're still
they were
advertising?
they were still
Advertising.
they were still advertising during that time.
Like now, or they stopped?
Now,
No, right now it's just been shut down. But during the time, like when the submarine was lost,
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
they they were still advertising. They were like, yeah. I don't know how American advertisements work actually. So they were still advertising. That's what I've seen and that's what I've heard about. So what are your thoughts about that?
What were they advertising? Funeral services? That's insane.
No, you pay $250,000, just to get buried somewhere, or to become part as fish food.
they can get buried
All of these.
10,000 feet below sea level. Everybody's sick and tired of the 6 feet under. They want to go 10,000 times below just to find a graveyard. I mean, that's crazy. Why?
I've always thought like, skydiving and all these insane sort of
Yeah.
adrenaline things that will get you killed if you're not careful. I've always thought I'm gonna wait till I'm like 60, 70 and then go do all of them, Live a full life and then go just crazy.
One way to go.
I mean, I'll do right now if they give me a shot. Just jump out of a plane and open your parachute and just that's actually kind of nice. Now that I think about it.
My
But I would never go in a submarine to a to the Titanic. I would never do
Yeah, but
that.
that's because that seems boring.
Yeah, it actually does. It actually does. I mean, hearing about it and everything, like you envision it to be something, and then like in reality it's not going to be great. It's just going to be you sitting there and you're viewing the thing. You're not able to touch it. You're not able to see
I
properly
don't
because of
know.
the water
They
as
couldn't
well.
even see anything. Like, what was the point of going down there? And the whole thing's absurd because it was controlled by a video game controller. Like, imagine that. Like, the entire thing is just controlled by a game controller. That plus no windows. Why did you just pay $250,000 to die?
I mean, you could have bought a house, I guess, or at least started a down payment to a very good house. At least that could have built equity over the years. But I don't know why they wanted to go spend $250,000 just for you know
This would have happened. And now that everybody's making jokes of it. Not jokes. It's just sad if you think about it, and also like it's a crazy life
Actually,
lesson.
it's just blatant jokes.
I
I
think that it's not that deep, no pun intended. Like they just wanted like a tourist trip and they died. Do you remember those guys who were like the football team that got lost in the cave and everyone around the world was like praying for them. Everyone was like holding hands. Like I remember we prayed for them at our like prayer meeting. We were like talking about them. Everyone was being really like, oh, we're worried about them. We want to get them out safely. But like everyone is just making fun of these five people. Like, what's the difference? Why, why are people being so mean about these guys?
feel so bad. Every time I see a meme or a joke about this, and then I accidentally like let out a sound, I feel so bad immediately because
Don't get me wrong, I also find it hilarious. Like, have you seen the most famous one, like the Titanic to humanity's hero?
Yeah, they compare the Titanic to the Titan actually. The way, the Titanic sank, they're comparing the Titan's implosion to the same exact thing.
I feel so bad.
And the amount of memes they have made. And also just a quick side note, recently they have found remains of the Titan. I mean, they're presuming it's the Titan, a few remains of it. However, um, certain scientists and all, they said like it cannot be because it's made out of carbon fiber and an implosion around that sea level, it's going to shatter the submarine
Jesus.
completely. That's not going to leave any remains. And later on, it was discovered it was a wreckage of a submarine from 1972. It wasn't the Titan, so that was debunked almost immediately.
Maybe catch you for anything now.
I don't think they're gonna find anything.
You
Yeah,
know?
that could have been anyone. Like, how are they comparing it to, these guys? I mean, it could be some dive or something who, got pulled under by certain species. I guess maybe a shark or something like that. It could be that. Yeah, his father was a businessman, right? If I'm not
I thought they were all
mistaken.
old dudes. There was a young person also.
The youngest
Yeah, there
person
was
that
a young
was
person as
19.
well.
Oh man, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know about his age, but I knew he was a youngster because it said he was a businessman's son as well.
So I read this report of this businessman's wife, and she had something to say about it, and she's like, her husband was so happy about it the night before. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm going diving, I'm going diving." He was really excited about it. The initial plan was the husband and wife go together to see the Titanic, but then, because the son, he's now of age, he went instead. And,
I mean, now thinking about it, I mean, his wife did, you know, survive such a incident. Like she avoided such a incident to take place. But I mean, it's still pretty sad, like to see all these people go away. And I mean, coming over to the next topic. So the obviously we know the submarine was made of titanium and carbon fiber for such an expedition. Now, do you think like before the implosion actually took place, like did you actually feel that it would survive such a incident, or would it be still functional for years down the line, like just based on the makeup of the submarine?
I'm not getting. Do you mean the one that sank or just in general, the new submarines that are being made?
No, no, the one that imploded. If it did not implode, like if we never actually got the news, if it never actually happened, so do you think it would still continue further down the line? Like it would have still been in perfect condition.
Maybe. Like, obviously, everything wears down eventually, but yeah, I don't really see why not.
What about you, Anne?
I didn't really get the question.
So let's just say the implosion didn't actually take place. So the makeup of the submarine was titanium and carbon fiber. Do you think it would, actually survive such a deep sea, uh, expedition? Like if the implosion did not happen, like further down the line, anytime. or such submarines, do you think they would actually survive?
I mean, no one has ever really experimented with carbon fiber before, and the fact that he still went ahead and,
Yeah.
just straight away took 5 people with him and just went straight down, and this happened. Like, there's no way that. I mean, no, I don't think it wasn't a wise decision to begin with. So we can't even think of another alternative. Maybe if they didn't use carbon fiber and actually use like solid, much safer materials, it would have been a normal thing.
I mean, if you ask me, like, you take a look at a few cars, okay? So they are made of carbon fiber. So you see crashes on the highway as well, and you know how the condition of these cars are. So if these cars cannot even handle hits on the road, and the same material is used for a submarine that is supposed to handle water pressure, which is many times worse than any accident on the road or any smash on the road, and I mean, obviously, what do you think is going to happen? It is going to, cave in, and it's going to cause really devastating damage,
Yeah,
actually.
and
And of course, even the CEO himself actually said it was made of carbon fiber, and he did not take any, advice from his investors, from anyone, media members, anyone. He just, went along with it. I mean, they were getting paid about $250,000 per person, so you can imagine how many people were going for it.
Carbon fiber
So,
is a
uh,
Carbon fiber is a
continue.
relatively new thing, and a lot of people have been starting experimenting with it, like you said, in cars and a lot of medical equipment. It's like the new big thing in science, especially physical science.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they wanted to do this and why they were looking for it, this particular thing commercially. Everyone wants it to be the new steel. This is like a long time coming. I'm surprised they don't have planes made of carbon fiber by this point. So we see it in race cars. We're going to see it in a lot of other things. This might slow it down. Like this accident might slow it down. People might be thinking, oh, carbon fiber. Because you've probably seen all the articles written in about carbon fiber, right? Like it was the new hot topic for
Yeah.
a long time. I remember reading about it. I remember reading about carbon fiber cars. My brother's telling me about it. They're so excited. But this might like finally slow it down a bit. People will be like, maybe it's not that safe. Yeah.
And some people might actually blame the titanium, the composition of the carbon fiber and titanium. Like they could actually blame that. I've actually seen certain comments on uh, this post on Instagram. They're like, "Oh, the titanium wasn't mixed in perfect ratio with the carbon fiber." I'm like, how do you even mix carbon fiber and titanium? They don't actually, go together.
Yeah.
So, what are your final thoughts on this whole incident that actually took place?
go deep diving.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Don't go deep sea diving. Go hug your moms. Thank your dads for the life that you have. And yes, be happy. Stay happy.
I mean, there's nothing wrong in deep sea diving. This is a deep sea
No,
expedition,
as someone
so
who
there are two
is
different things,
terrified of
actually.
the deep sea ocean, when I hear incidents like this just intensifies my fear of the deep sea even more. So, for all those of you who are on the same.
Don't worry, and
So wait, you've,
there are like so
you've never
many
been on a
aircrafts
boat
that were
before or
lost at
anything?
sea, so like don't worry about it.
Just stay away.
So wait, I'm kind of curious right now. So wait, you haven't been on a boat or anywhere
I
before,
have,
right?
but
Like out
yeah,
at sea or
I
something?
have, but not deep sea diving. Deep sea diving is scary. Like imagine going 10,000 feet below. It's just pitch dark, and then creatures that you don't even people haven't even discovered. Like only 5 or 7% of the entire ocean life is discovered. So like, what horrors do you think you'll face down there? And it's
Have you seen the squid that they discovered? The
the
huge
phantom
one?
squid,
Oh God.
bro. The thing is, that's not even its final form. They're saying that it's still a baby. It's still a baby squid. So we don't really know how longer or bigger it can actually get. And that's terrifying. Just live a normal.
I
If
mean,
you have money,
since you made
give
this
it a
comment, I
chance.
guess all the
Huh?
yeah. since you made this comment, all the megalodon lovers are going to be like, yeah, you know what? If the squid can grow big, there's still a megalodon somewhere.
No, why do you want it to be alive so bad? Just let it stay down there. It's
I mean, you just said let it stay down there, so you're implying it's also alive.
no, I mean,
You just said why
let
do you
it
want
stay
it to be?
dead down there. In brackets,
I
let it stay
don't
dead.
understand why anyone is terrified that the megalodon will be alive. Like, think about it. We are so small. There's no way it's gonna waste energy trying to eat us.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's
apex
a
predators
60
go for
feet.
similar sized prey.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be an extinction of blue whales if the megalodon actually did exist. So, yeah, that kind of debunks the theory of megalodons actually being alive.
When
I mean, it's a 60-foot long shark. It's going to attack something, and you haven't heard anything. I mean, other than the Bermuda Triangle, I don't think anything can exist.
I think
that's a
we're
topic.
straying off the topic.
Yeah, it's way off the topic. It's way
That's
off
a
the
topic
topic.
for another day.
So, yeah, there's a topic for another day. So, any final thoughts? Anything more you want to add?
Not really, man. It is what it is. It happened.
I mean, since it happened and all, like, we do like to, take this moment to, acknowledge the people who actually did pass away. It's a sad thing that such a thing actually happened on this day. So we do, um, we do feel sorry for what actually happened and all of that, and especially with the passing away of Ocean Gate's member and the kid and his dad and three other people. Sorry, two other people. So that officially brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you, Amy and Anne, for joining the show. It was a pleasure to have you on the show and have a nice discussion about this topic. So remember, guys, we air on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. That said, if you guys want to contribute to our topics, have anything to say, or just want to give us your feedback, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. And a huge thank you to our listeners for tuning in to this edition of the Reality Bang, your weekly dose of youth power, brought to you by FEBA Online. This is RJ Yohann. Hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Monday. God bless you.